Good morning. We continue to follow breaking news from Vaughan, where a vehicle has crashed into the fence of a daycare near Melville and Rutherford. CB24's Steve Ryan has just arrived at the scene and joins us live with the latest injuries. Has anybody been injured, Steve?
Yeah, right off the bat, let's talk about the two children that were injured. Now, police tell me that they are minor injuries, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. I'm also told that a staff member was taken to hospital with the minor injuries, and the driver of the vehicle that struck the fence behind me here at the Goodness Daycare, the driver was taken to hospital as well. I'm told that the driver is a male in his 80s, and they just towed his vehicle away. It was a 4-door Toyota sedan with significant damage to the rear of the vehicle. And that's important because it certainly does appear, and we are going to hear from York Regional Police in a short time, it appears as though the vehicle reversed into the fence, and there could possibly be a medical complaint or a medical issue with the driver. And you can see the handicap parking, which is directly to the west of where this vehicle wound up, rear end first in that fence. So it certainly does appear, and we'll get this confirmation from the police, that the driver was parked in the handicap spot, threw the car into reverse for whatever reason, and it went up the curb, struck the fence. There's significant damage to the fence and significant damage to the rear end of the Toyota as well. And as I said, that driver has been taken to hospital. So there are 4 people being treated in hospital right now, 2 children, aged 2 and 3, staff member, and the driver. Now, York Regional Police are holding a press conference right now, so I think we're going to slide right over into it. So let's go over and with them. Okay. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to start right now.
Yeah, the back end, yes, back end. Good morning. Thank you everyone for showing up. So I'm here to talk about what happened today at this daycare. Just before 9:30 this morning, York Regional Police received a call for a single motor vehicle collision that occurred at a daycare in the area of Rutherford Road and Melville Avenue in the city of Vaughan. Officers arrived in quick order, along with other emergency services personnel, and as you can imagine, found a rather chaotic scene at this daycare, which had children at it at the time that were outside playing when the collision happened. The initial information that we've got is that a car had been driving in the parking lot, and the driver, a male in his 80s, had lost control of the vehicle. As a result of losing control, the vehicle then drove into a fence, a metal fence, at the daycare, and that caused the fence to strike some children, as well as an adult employee of the daycare. Fortunately, the injuries in this case have been determined to be minor, and everyone has been transported to hospital, where they're being taken care of as we speak. The male driver in his 80s did not have any obvious physical injuries, but was taken to hospital as a precaution and is being treated at the hospital. We can appreciate that this is a very alarming call for parents to receive. Information that there has been a car accident at a daycare is very upsetting. And we also can appreciate that the witnesses, and there were many, that witnessed a traumatic incident. And it was disturbing for everybody, and there was a lot of chaos. But fortunately, the situation is under control right now. And we are speaking to witnesses. We are looking for witnesses that haven't yet spoken with us. And we've also got our victim services unit located at our 4-district police station, which is just around the corner from this scene. And we're hoping that if there's anybody that witnessed this that hasn't yet spoken to police, they're going to contact us as soon as possible. And also, if there are any people who witnessed this that are having some trouble processing what they saw, what they heard, we understand that it can be difficult, and we do encourage them to take advantage of the victim services that we're offering in this case. What I can say right now is that we are looking for people that saw what happened, even heard what happened. We're also looking for anyone that might have dash cam video, because this is a fairly busy parking lot. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of vehicular traffic. So anyone that hasn't yet spoken to police, anyone that's got dash cam video, please get in touch with our investigators as soon as possible, and we'll sort this out. Currently, no charges have been laid. The matter is still under investigation. As you can appreciate, this just happened, so we're sorting things out and we're trying to figure out what took place. anybody that can help us put those pieces of the puzzle together, please contact us as soon as possible.
Sergeant, are you able to comment on whether that vehicle went rear end first into the fence? I asked that because there was significant damage to the back of that vehicle. And can you tell us where the driver was when police arrived on scene?
So my understanding, what happened is that the driver lost control of the vehicle and collided with the fence at the daycare. The dynamics of the accident are still under investigation, so I can't speak to the actual maneuvering of the vehicle, but there was some significant damage to the vehicle and to the fence, and fortunately only minor injuries to the people that were struck by the fence. Nonetheless, it's an upsetting thing to go through. We're looking at 2 children that were injured, 2 boys, aged 2 and 3, and there was also an adult female employee of the daycare who suffered minor injuries. And then the driver of the vehicle was in his 80s. Now, the driver was found on the ground outside of the vehicle, is my understanding, but of course, we'd like to find out what other people have to say about that.
Thank you. You said that you're looking to talk to people who may have seen something, but obviously this is a very busy parking lot. Have there been quite a few witnesses that you've been able to speak to who are here in the parking lot, who saw what happened, heard what happened?
Yes, unfortunately, a lot of people that witnessed this did the right thing, and they stayed to talk to the police. So we have had a number of people come and speak to us and let us know what they saw. But of course, there are always a lot of different angles to look at and a lot of different perspectives. So we want to speak to as many people that were here. And we understand there were a fair number, so we haven't got all the witness information, and there are people out there who we would still like to speak to. So if you're hearing this, please contact our investigators.
I don't know if you said this already. Can you just talk about the daycare here in terms of have all the kids been taken home, who's still here, and what's that process?
My understanding is that the daycare facility is still operating right now and has some children there, but what I can say is all children have been accounted for. So everyone's been accounted for. Parents have come to take their children home, and there are some other children that I think are still awaiting pickup. But everyone's been accounted for. The injuries are minor, and they've been transported to hospital, those people that need to be seen by a doctor.
And have the kids who were injured been picked up by their parents, or have their parents gotten involved?
The parents are involved, yes.
I see.
Yes.
And just, obviously, it sounds like a dumb question, but what were the parents like who came to pick up their kids, especially the ones that had their kids injured? I mean, obviously, it's a tough situation. I
can tell you that when this call first came in, it was chaotic. I was able to listen to the radio. I was able to get some of the call information myself, and my colleagues can all attest that when a call like this comes in, where children are injured, a report of children being injured at a daycare with a single motor vehicle accident, it's all hands on deck. And the police responded as quickly as possible, along with emergency services personnel, but rightfully, as you can expect, parents were upset. So it was a bit of a chaotic scene when we first got here, and it required some settling to figure out what took place. But then once the dust settled, we were able to establish what happened to a certain degree.
This is clearly a situation though where things could have been much worse. And I don't want to call it lucky because obviously kids are hurt. It's a pretty bad situation, but it could have been worse.
This could have been a terrible tragedy. Fortunately, we're looking at a situation where everyone has minor injuries and the situation's under control. It is being investigated, and we're going to investigate it thoroughly. And once that investigation is determined or done, we'll make a determination as to whether or not charges are appropriate in this case.
Thank you. Any confirmation if the car was entering or vacating this physically challenged spot beside us here?
I have no information about that parking spot, I'm sorry.
And there was somebody else in the car with them?
There was an adult female passenger in the vehicle as well, yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Sergeant. Appreciate it.
To recap, the sergeant there basically said what I said in my hit, which was that there was a driver in his 80s that was found in a prone position on the ground. Now, I got that information prior to the press conference by York Regional Police. 2 boys, 2 and 3, are taken to hospital with minor injuries. Adult staff member taken to hospital as well in minor injuries. There is no other way. I know the sergeant couldn't answer my question when I asked him about what happened with the point of impact. There is no way that vehicle suffered that much significant damage without coming from this location here, which would be near the handicap parking spot, and the vehicle went into reverse and then struck the fence. So this is either going to be a medical issue, error, or a mechanical issue. I'm sure it wasn't intentional. And hearing how this man in his 80s was found on the ground themselves, it most likely is going to turn out to be either a medical or a mechanical issue with the vehicle. Thankfully, none of these children were injured. too badly, other than the 2 kids that were taken to hospital with minor injuries. I'll send it back to the desk.
Yeah, and good to know that all of the children at that daycare have now been accounted for. That is our Steve Ryan reporting live in Vaughan this morning. Thanks so much, Steve.